Hi, good morning. So every Friday, no matter what, I wake up, I have my coffee, I work out, and I record for anxiety, no matter what. I do a couple episodes and then I release them throughout the week or throughout the month, however I feel. And this morning I woke up late because I accidentally set my alarm for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 4 a.m. And for some reason I didn't have Friday in there. So I woke up, I was like, wow, why do I feel so refreshed? It was like 5:45. I'm like, oh shoot, I should have been out the door by now. So guess what? I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do it. I still worked out. I still drank my coffee. I'm still recording. And then I'm going to go out and do work. And so it's a later day on Friday, but sometimes you just start late and that is okay. I jumped up, I stressed, and I thought, nope, not going to do it. So here we are, and we're going to talk about it. Did I just insult you? We've all been there. You say something totally innocent, what you think is innocent, maybe even meant as a compliment, and suddenly the other person is completely offended, right? So your heart starts racing because they're reacting, your brain goes into overdrive, and now you're convinced that you just ruined everything. Ruined the friendship, the work relationship, the day, the week, the month, whatever happened, right? But have you really? So today we're just going to talk about accidentally insulting someone and how to move past it. I am notorious for this, and I don't know why. Notorious. I just have no filter, and I don't know why. I have done this many times. I just did it in the past week. I asked a question, and the person was just like, no. Like, what are you asking me? I was like, whoa, that's not what I meant. Wow. So I need to continue practicing using my words. You know, for all these couple years that I've been going through the coaching classes and all the classes through the college and all that kind of stuff, you think I would have learned by now, but whatever, human, right? All human. So when a compliment backfires, let's just say you walk into a friend's house and you say, wow, your house looks so clean. And instead of a simple thank you from them, maybe they hit you with, isn't it always clean? And they kind of just look at you like, and, you know, cue your internal panic, right? Shit, I didn't mean that, you know? So why does this happen? Some people hear a compliment and immediately look for the hidden meaning. They look for the hidden meaning, right? My scribbles. Sorry, I write stuff in my phone and on a piece of paper when I'm thinking about stuff. You know, some people just, they hear it as, well, I cleaned last week too, so what's making it different today, right? They might feel defensive, like you're implying that their house is usually a mess, which you don't. Maybe you just noticed something. For example, I did walk into a friend's house a couple years back and her floors were super shiny. Like maybe it was the way that the sun was hitting the floors. And I went, oh my God, your floors are so clean. And she's like, aren't they always? And I'm like, immediately was like, nope, that's not what I meant. And I was like, I think it's the way the sun is really showing me how shiny your hardwood floors are. And I was just trying to be nice, but it didn't. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you just, you don't want to say anything. You just don't want to say anything, right? So how do you handle it? You can't reverse it. You can't go back in time, right? Just clarify with humor, like, maybe I meant to say it. They especially look clean today, like, holy cow, or just anything else that reverts it. If you're comfortable doing that, make some humor. Or you can acknowledge the whole conversation by saying, oops, I didn't mean it that way, the way that you're thinking it came out. Your house is always clean. It's just the way the sun is hitting it. Or you can just completely change the subject if you find that it's escalating. You can just, if they definitely seem salty, but it wasn't a huge deal, right? Complimenting someone on their clean floors, just pivot to something else, right? Just let it go. Like, hey, how are you? How was your week? Just go on to something else. Just like a toddler, I've talked about this before, you redirect, right? And you can redirect your conversations. If they bring it up again, apologize, say, acknowledge it, just say, I'm sorry. I think it was the way the sun was hitting and it just looks amazing. Your house always looks amazing. I just noticed this one piece, right? But now, how do we let it go for ourselves, right? And for them afterward? If they moved on, take that as a sign that you should too. That one awkward moment doesn't define your friendship. It doesn't define that moment, because there's going to be another moment where you say, how was your week? Let's talk about it. How was work? How was this? How are the kids? If it lingers, which a couple weeks ago, I got myself caught in something and it definitely lingered. I could tell that the person was very mad at me, and I promise you, I did not try to insult them, but I come out that way sometimes. You can just apologize and say, I hope I didn't come across wrong earlier, and just kind of clear the air. Take one for yourself, right? Take one for the team and say, I am so sorry. I did not mean it that way. I'm going to watch the way I share my compliments with you, right? I mean, what can you do? Save the friendship. If you don't care, then don't save the friendship. Who cares what they think? But let's be real. Most of the time, they've already forgotten about it. Okay? This is your head. This is our brains maybe thinking it. Meanwhile, you're still analyzing it and overanalyzing it at 2:00 in the morning, which is what I did a couple weeks ago. And I went, why do you open your mouth? Just shut up, Meredith, right? Whatever. I got a mouth. I just do. I was raised that way, I think. I think a couple people in my life have mouths, and so do I. But so I have to say I've spent countless 2 a.m.s thinking about things I've said and go, why? But I'm learning. I'm getting better. So, and that's all we ask for, right? It's just to get better. And if you're here listening, you're here to get better. You want to be a better person, or you want to know how to acknowledge things. So how about when a simple question offends someone? So you gave a compliment, but that went sideways, and you were like, well, shoot, how do I do this? And just think of things again, like how you would say different things. Like maybe you can say, your house is always clean, but your floors are so shiny today. I've just never noticed that before. Still a compliment. I can't imagine anyone taking that sideways, but again, everyone's human and different. So now let's talk about when a simple question offends someone. Like maybe your question just rubs them the wrong way and it was not intentional. Like maybe you were being cautious and you were going to ask a question before you asked them to do something. Like someone answers the phone or someone like walks up to you, and I mean, have we all done this where they just say, I'm sorry, are you tired, or are you resting, or oh goodness, can I help you? You look stressed. And they immediately are like, no, I'm fine. I got like 14 hours of sleep last night. And now you just feel like you accuse them, right, of looking tired, or you accuse them of resting, or whatever it is, right? So you just ask a question and you didn't mean it that way, because maybe in your mind, you didn't want to bother them. So you're like, oh no, maybe their look just was like, oh, I can't handle another thing on my plate. So you say, do you think you can handle something else? But you're hesitant to ask, and then they feel like you don't think they can handle it. Not good. It's not good. It's just an accident, and maybe they take you the wrong way. So why does this happen? People can be weirdly sensitive about how they're perceived. When I worked at a grocery store years ago, loved my job, loved my people, but I had really weird hours, so I would never, ever, ever sleep, and I was becoming sick with my thyroid during that same time. I had Graves' disease before radiation. And so my eyes are like they look permanently tired. I have the bags underneath. And years ago when I was younger, you don't usually see that in someone that's 30, right? Like you don't usually see the bags because we're all young and beautiful and rested and life is for us and all that fun stuff. But so many people would walk up to me and say, oh, did you work last night? You look tired. Even after I didn't. And I would just always be weirdly sensitive about how I was perceived. Like, no, I'm fine. And, it was just one of those things. So I get it on that side. And then I also understand the other side where you just ask someone because you're like, oh, are you tired? Can I help you with something? And they're just like, no, I'm fine. So both ways I can see it. Maybe someone's working, but they're not tired. Maybe they did get enough sleep, but maybe they just look stressed. I guess we just never want to bring up the obvious, right? Captain Obvious. Maybe they're just resting, so they answered the phone quietly, but they're still working. Maybe they're not tired because they just got 14 hours of sleep. I don't know, right? You can just go back and forth, right? So how to recover from the moment. Just quickly reframe it. Just quick, oh, I'm sorry. You know what? It might have been the lighting. I wasn't sure. I'm sorry, or a lighthearted pivot like, oops, I didn't mean that as an assumption. I just either couldn't hear you clearly, you sounded quiet, so I thought you were resting, or the light is shining on your face, strange with shadows, so you looked tired for a moment, but now that you're smiling, you look so much better. Or just a neutral follow-up like, I just want to make sure now's a good time to chat. Or I just want to make sure now is a good time to talk to you. I just don't want to add more to your stresses if you have any, right? You just recover from it. Or just don't ask the question. If you kind of know that someone's sensitive, or you kind of know that they maybe always do look tired because you know that they are going through something, don't even acknowledge it. Don't be Captain Obvious. Just say, hey, do you have a minute for me? And they'll tell you yes or no. Let them decide if they're tired or if they're resting or if they're stressed. Let them decide, okay? I didn't mean anything by that. I was just hoping your day's going well and you can just smooth it over, right? So at the end of the day, we all have moments where we accidentally say the wrong thing. But guess what? Most people aren't thinking about it nearly as much as we are, because we're here on Anxiety Makes Me Poop. If someone chooses to be offended by a harmless comment, that's on them. You can correct it though next time. Obviously, if they're offended this time, but don't stay up at 2 a.m. thinking about it. Just correct it if you need to. Move on and remind yourself you are truly not a terrible person. You're not a terrible person. We just sometimes say things that other people don't understand or don't get or get offended by. And even if our heart was in the right place, you're tired. Did you work last night? And they're like, no, I just got done sleeping 27,000 hours. Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't putting any more stress on you. Or if you know that they're going to get offended, don't even say it. Just, hey, you got time for me? Hey, can I share something with you? Hey, do you have a moment to talk? Maybe just do that. Or, wow, look at the sun, look at the way the sun is on your floors. They look especially clean today. They're always clean, but holy cow, look at it now, right? So maybe we can just reframe our wording. But again, they're not thinking about it. And if they are, that's on them, because you did not have any bad intent. Okay? So if you have something that you said and someone was offended, think about it right now and then stop thinking about it forever. Just say, I didn't mean to. I am a good person. And now I'm moving on. Right? And learn from it. Hey, happy Friday. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening.